So yeah, I thought today I would just do an update on where I am, because it's been a few months since I made a video and I haven't had a chance to do anything really since I did that video last time about starting an MA, which has been amazing, by the way. You might be interested in where I am, so I'll flip the 360 camera around in post so you can see it. This is Lochore Meadows Country Park, which I've never been to before. I didn't really know existed despite having lived near it for about 20 years. So yeah, it seems nice. It's filled with lots of wildlife, including some massive swans. Yeah, I've got no food and I don't want broken arms, thank you very much. Hey. So I'm keeping a wide berth from them. But yeah, gonna have a walk around. Rookie mistake today. I took my X100V, forgot the SD card. So I'm just gonna be taking shots with my iPhone 13 Pro. So nothing special. So this is proving more difficult than I thought. It's not that it's busy particularly, but it's just that it's like somebody just appears around a corner just every time I'm about to start, which is quite annoying. But you know, everybody has a right to walk around here. It's only me that's arrogant enough to want to film myself doing it. So yeah, I only have a very vague idea of what I'm going to talk about now. It's been a full on, look, ducky, right there, 2 duckies. I suspect they'll be making more duckies soon. Yeah, so the MA has been amazing. It's been really full on, which is why I ended that last video saying I would get some more videos made. But with ME, even part-time on the MA, it's been really full on. The academic reading part of it actually is the thing that I found most frustrating in terms of the time it took. Definitely a large cohort of people who will take 1,000 words to say something that could easily be said in 10. So I'm getting there, and I'm actually starting to understand and enjoy that part of it. It's certainly, without a doubt, the course has already changed my life quite considerably. I've struggled for the last few years with the idea of just even what a practice is, let alone what do I need to do to have one. And now I have one, I believe, anyway, and it's a case of developing that now, which is just amazing, just in the space of 3 months. So, what's today? Thursday the 27th, I think. No, Thursday the 26th. So I start tomorrow, Friday the 27th, on my second term. Now, I've been promised by the person who leads the course that the reading isn't so egregious this time and it's more about the work. We did quite a lot of actual making, but this is much more focused on making, I believe. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's been quite special so far. It's a really nice day. It's just incredibly squinty weather. High contrast. You probably can't see my face now. So yeah, the MA's been pretty amazing. I'll put some of the work I did. It's the final project, and while you're looking at that, I'll talk about it a little bit. I'll put it up on the screen just now. So before I do that, I'll warn you now. For the first time in my life, I actually made non-photographic work. which was interesting. Well, first time in my life, I used to be a designer, and I've often believed that design can be art in its own right. I'm going to stop now because there's people. Right, quick cut to me moving. Too many people around, so I've got to keep moving just to kind of maintain a space around everyone. I hate this about making videos. I haven't quite got over the embarrassment of talking to myself in public. But yeah, so I firmly believed, and I've always believed, that graphic design can actually be used non-commercially to make artworks. And while I was doing the course that last semester, I found people who were working with, I guess you could call them archaeological themes, who were using graphic design techniques to do it, and it kind of freed me up a little bit and made me feel like I could actually do that. So this is the work I did, and I'm just going to try and explain what it is. So initially, early on in the semester, what we did was a course called, one of the lectures was called Creative Mapping, and it kind of blew my tiny mind a little bit, because it turns out that any map that you see is a very subjective thing. There's lots of choices that go into what gets left out, what goes in, all of that kind of stuff. I started to imagine what it might be like 3,000 years from now, when the place I live, which is very different to a kind of normal town, it's a new town, so it's designed from the ground up, literally. It's drawn on the ground by town planners and architects, and so the shapes you see there are very, very human, recognisably. And I started to imagine what people might think if they found those shapes on the ground, a bit like the Nazca lines. Which shapes would they pick out of the map and say were significant? And so I just started to imagine that. There was also the work of a guy called David Lem. David Lem is one of the people, first of all, but also there's a guy called Jim Lambie, who, I think he was in Teenage Fan Club, and his work is amazing, really colourful, and that really freed me up to start using the colours that I really, really enjoy. So I'm going to go this way. That's what I did. I started to play with colour and line and shape, in a kind of modernist way, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, that is incredible. I really love that. Hopefully it comes across in video as well. Just such a lovely day. So annoyed that I made that rookie error. That's one of the issues when you're... So the kind of photographer I am is, I'm not an everyday photographer. I've been doing it long enough. I should know better, but I tend to work on projects, and if I don't have a project, then I don't really make work. And what that means is that almost every time that I start again after a couple of weeks or months away, I'll make one rookie error, and inevitably it's the SD card. It's just ridiculous. Never mind. It's a really nice place to be. I highly recommend it, actually. Lochore Meadows Country Park, I think. Be good if I knew where I was. So there's another interesting loch over there. Not sure what that one is. But it's just surrounded by water around here. It's really nice. I reckon I could set up my long lens down there and get some interesting pictures. So that's something to note for later on. That's for sure. So yeah, what else? I have been full of the MA over Christmas. Myself and my wife, well, my daughter started with it and then gave it to us. Got the flu, not COVID thankfully, but it was probably the worst flu any of us have had in our lives, so that messed things up. In this 6-week break that I had intended to make quite a few videos. But this is the first chance I've had. It's the first time I've actually felt well enough to actually get out and do it, because it really not only messed me up at the time, but it messed up my ME as well. So finally through that, touch wood. Oh wow, that's fab. It's really lovely. Put this in my pocket so I don't drop it. Terrified I'm going to drop the camera, to be honest. But yeah, on that note, I've got a few things that I want to do. I have actually got 2 new members of the camera family, which I wanted to test out properly. I won't mention them, but I will put pictures of them up now. And so that's exciting, because I have come to realize that you choose the tool for the way you want to work. You don't choose a sledgehammer when you need a ball peen hammer. So I'm thinking that these, although they are very niche, are very suited to the way I work. So I want to do a video about that. We'll see. Yeah, they're interesting. Hopefully I've got the time to do that before the end of this term. How lovely is that? It's just beautiful. Coming back here with the camera. Perfect reeds there. Absolutely perfect. Okay, I'm going to take that shot. It's just gorgeous. So this used to be old kind of mining industrial landscape, and they've really changed it around. I don't know, I think from what I've been seeing on the information boards, they started planting in the 1970s. But it's a wonderful place now. It's really interesting. Kind of maybe remnants of something there. Yeah. The only thing that's making it slightly unpleasant is the sun shining in my eyes. It's probably not pleasant to look at, me squinting all the time. You can feel, it's one of my favourite words, you can feel the apricity, it's the warmth of the sun on a winter's day. So yeah, alongside okay, I'll mention the name, Sigma DP Quattro. I've got the 0 and the 1. And I just love, I love the kind of filmic look to the colours. And I think I kind of like the slow process. I'm going to make a video about this, but I'm a very, very big believer in intentionality in photography in my work, and I think cameras like that require some effort to get the very best out of them. Not that other cameras don't, but you know what I mean. It's a longer process. That's the kind of scalpel I need rather than the penknife. So yeah, I'm going to do a video about that and possibly one about intentionality separately. I've got, still haven't used it. I've got an Intrepid 5x4 and I haven't taken it out of his box yet, just because the world has been so weird since I got it. So that's not happened. But these are all things that I'm planning for this year. If they don't happen during term, I'll do them during the summer, which is a very, very long break. I'll have time to do them then. And even if I can't get those longer, more involved videos done, I'll keep making these. These are relatively easy. I enjoy doing them. So we'll do that. I'm sure there's other things I want to do as well. There's certainly, there's lots of things to do with archaeology, contemporary archaeology, that I want to work into. Because it turns out that photographers have been doing this for a long time. Photography was invented around about the same time as archaeology, and they have a kind of parallel path. And so they're very deeply intertwined. And right now, contemporary photography and contemporary archaeology are at times almost the same thing. Because what you're doing is, there's a phrase I loved, which I heard during the course, which is this idea of a forward-facing archive. And I suppose, you know, all archives are forward-facing to a certain extent. But it's the idea of preserving things that might be considered banal for the future. Because it's the banal things that are really interesting about the past. So I'll probably do a fair bit of that. I think I'm probably 20 minutes from being back in the car park, so that's it over there. You can see those buildings over there. So yeah, there's a lot to do. I'll keep people updated on my work. I am thinking of starting a blog on the subject of this kind of contemporary archaeological slant on photography. So I'll post up about that if I do start. The other thing was, I don't know, some of you will have probably heard of this term. I hadn't before I started the course. Psychogeography, which has a kind of weird and twisted past, and has become a scene for various types of gatekeeping over the years. But I want to do something about that, because I think it is a much more open and simple subject than some of the kind of academic intellectuals made it at the very start. And I think we all do it. And it's all actually very important. So I'll probably do something about that. And that's kind of where the blog is going to come from. This idea of psychogeography and the psychology. Basically, psychogeography is the collision of psychology and geography. To my mind, that means it can happen anywhere to anyone. and it's just the effect of place or a sense of place on your mind, which is a really interesting thing. So I'll probably do something about that. That's probably what a lot of my work going forward is going to be around. And yeah, that's it, I think. I know hardly anyone watches these. Thank you very much for... So the last time I did this, I had 50 followers. I've got 66 now. I know it's not very many, but it's nice that some people find my nonsense interesting enough to know when I've made another one. So thank you very much. If I don't respond, please don't be offended. I have ME, so I have to do a sort of energy triage on the things I do. But I promise, try and get round to responding to people, because I do feel bad about that and it weighs on me. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my little jaunt around Lochore. It's been a surprising one. I did not expect it to be quite this gorgeous. Now I get to see what this footage looks like, because I'm using a new 360 camera, X2. New to me, it's not a new model, there's newer models now. And I'm going to be using Final Cut Pro, which I've never used before, but I believe it's just easier to use, and I want something that's easy to use. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll see you next time. Stay well, stay safe, stay happy, and keep making work. Bye.